If the house you're about to live in shows any of these warning signs, never buy it, never rent it, and never move in. Because when you step inside, you're not just bringing furniture, you're bringing your entire family into a space filled with harmful energy. That may sound dramatic. Some may dismiss it as superstition. But what I'm about to share isn't blind belief. It's the wisdom of ancient Feng Shui, the lessons of our ancestors, and even insights supported by modern science and psychology. Over the years, I've seen countless families fall into the same painful pattern. At first, everything seems perfect. The house looks beautiful, the price is fair, the location convenient, and the space feels warm and inviting. But after a few weeks or months, subtle changes begin to creep in. One family member struggles with insomnia, another becomes unusually irritable, strange health issues appear, work opportunities fall apart. Finances seem to vanish no matter how carefully they save. And slowly what felt like a home filled with joy turns into a space heavy with silence, arguments, and fatigue. The danger is that it doesn't happen all at once. The decline is slow, almost invisible, like a weight pressing down little by little. By the time people realize their so-called dream home has already begun draining vitality, harmony, and prosperity. Here's the truth: Feng Shui isn't about luck, it's about energy balance. And science now confirms much of what Feng Shui has taught for centuries. For example, natural sunlight is considered the strongest source of positive yang energy. Scientifically, it helps the body produce vitamin D, essential for mood, sleep, and immunity. Without it, we're more prone to fatigue and depression. Or take a dead tree in front of a home. In Feng Shui, it signals decline. Biologically, it could mean poor soil or pollution, environmental factors that directly affect health and well-being. When you view these teachings through both a spiritual and scientific lens, they're not superstition. They're timeless truths meant to help us live healthier, happier, more prosperous lives. That's why in today's video, I'll reveal the 9 most dangerous signs to watch for in any home. If you see them, think twice before moving in. And if you already live in such a house, don't worry. I'll share simple remedies to transform negative energy into positive flow. Before we dive in, set your intention. Comment this affirmation below. I choose a home filled with light, peace, and prosperity. This anchors positivity for you and spreads it to our growing community. And don't forget like, share, and subscribe so you never miss powerful Feng Shui insights to help create a home that truly supports your health, happiness, and abundance. Sign number 1, living near cemeteries, abandoned temples, prisons, or power stations. Let me share a story. A young couple, newly married and full of dreams, finally found a charming little house just outside the city. The price seemed almost too good to be true. The layout was open and bright, and the neighborhood felt peaceful. Excited, they moved in, convinced they had discovered their perfect home. At first, life felt wonderful. They decorated the rooms, enjoyed cooking in their new kitchen, and fell asleep each night feeling grateful. But within weeks, things began to shift. The wife started waking in the middle of the night, heart racing and drenched in sweat, unable to recall her dreams. The husband, once cheerful and outgoing, grew tired and easily irritated. Small disagreements turned into arguments, and the laughter they once shared was replaced by silence. Something about the house felt heavy. The atmosphere grew darker, pressing down on them day by day. Months later, while exploring beyond their backyard, they uncovered the truth. Hidden behind an overgrown field stood an abandoned temple, and next to it, a forgotten cemetery. Suddenly, everything made sense. In Feng Shui, locations like cemeteries, abandoned temples, prisons, slaughterhouses, or even power stations carry what's known as heavy yin energy. Yin, when balanced, is natural and necessary, but when it becomes overwhelming, it turns stagnant, cold, and suffocating. It is energy tied to endings, death, grief, confinement, and unresolved pain. When a house sits too close to these places, it slowly absorbs that energy until the atmosphere inside feels lifeless and oppressive. At first, you may not notice it, but over time, the effects creep into daily life. Restless sleep, strained moods, declining health, and tension in relationships. Children may become unsettled, pets act strangely, and adults often feel drained or anxious without knowing why. Modern psychology confirms this perspective. Studies show that people living near cemeteries or prisons often carry a subconscious sense of unease. The constant reminder of death or confinement creates background stress even if unnoticed. This subtle anxiety taxes the nervous system, disrupts sleep, and weakens resilience. Over time, both body and mind begin to suffer. So what can be done? The best solution is prevention. Avoid choosing a home near cemeteries, abandoned temples, prisons, or power stations. But if moving is impossible, there are ways to soften the impact. Practical Feng Shui remedies. Hang a metal wind chime at the entrance. The sound breaks up stagnant energy and encourages lightness. Place strong, vibrant plants, such as a snake plant near the doorway or balcony, to absorb negativity and refresh the air. Fill your home with yang energy. Keep it bright, play uplifting music, and invite laughter. Yin thrives in silence and darkness. Yang thrives in light, warmth, and joy. Sign number 2, a house without natural light. A young family once moved into a lovely little home tucked between 2 tall apartment towers. At first, they loved the quiet escape from the noise of the city. The rooms were cozy, modern, and beautifully decorated. Everything seemed perfect. But within a few months, the mood inside shifted. The mother, once energetic, began feeling exhausted. The father grew short-tempered and irritable. Their daughter, normally playful, became withdrawn and quiet. No one could explain it. There was no illness, no financial stress. Yet the entire family felt weighed down by something invisible. One day, a visiting friend pointed it out. "Why is it always so dark in here?" And that was the answer. The home, pressed tightly between 2 towers, received almost no direct sunlight. From morning until night, every room remained in shadow. In Feng Shui, sunlight is considered the strongest source of yang energy, the energy of vitality, joy, and growth. Without it, yin energy dominates. While yin has its place, too much of it creates stagnation, heaviness, and emotional gloom. A home lacking sunlight will eventually feel lifeless, no matter how well it's decorated. Modern science agrees. Natural light is essential for the body to produce vitamin D, which supports immunity, bone health, and mood regulation. Lack of sunlight is linked to depression, fatigue, and poor sleep. Sunlight also helps regulate hormones like serotonin, which boosts happiness, and melatonin, which controls our sleep cycle. Without enough light, the body's rhythm falters, leading to irritability, low energy, and restless nights. So it's no wonder families in dark homes often experience fatigue, irritability, and disconnection, even if everything else in life seems fine. If you find yourself in a home with little natural light, moving may not be possible, but you can still bring in more yang energy to balance the space. Practical Feng Shui remedies. Add indoor plants that thrive in low light, like snake plants or pothos. They purify the air and symbolize vitality, drawing fresh energy into stagnant corners. Use mirrors wisely. Place them opposite windows or light sources to reflect and amplify brightness throughout the rooms. Burn incense or natural wood daily. Scents like sandalwood or agar wood help refresh stagnant energy and create warmth. Keep your home lively. Use warm lights, play soft music, and encourage laughter. Light and sound disrupt heavy yin energy and invite flow. The lesson is simple: light equals life. A home that welcomes the sun nourishes body, mind, and spirit. Without it, even the most beautiful house can quietly drain your joy. So before falling in love with furniture or price, pause and ask, does this space shine with natural light? Does it feel alive? Because your soul will always crave the light. Sign number 3, a dead tree in front of the house. Picture walking up to a house and the first thing you see is a lifeless tree. Its branches brittle, its leaves long gone. Even before stepping inside, the sight feels unsettling. In Feng Shui, the area directly in front of a house is called the bright hall. It's where energy gathers before flowing inside. Ideally, this space should be open, vibrant, and welcoming. But when a dead or decaying tree stands there, it sends the opposite message, signaling stagnation, decline, and blocked energy. It's as if the house itself is quietly announcing growth has stopped, joy is fading. This interpretation isn't just mystical. From a scientific and psychological perspective, a dead tree can signal environmental imbalance. Healthy trees usually thrive in clean soil and air. When one withers without obvious cause, it may point to contamination or poor air quality. Living in such an environment subtly affects our physical and emotional well-being. Psychologically, the impact is powerful. Our minds naturally link dying plants with endings and decay. Seeing a lifeless tree every day serves as a subconscious reminder of loss. Over time, that constant image weighs on the spirit, leaving residents feeling restless, hopeless, or uninspired, just like families who report ongoing fatigue and irritability while living behind a tree that refuses to bloom. The good news. Unlike some Feng Shui challenges, this one is relatively easy to fix. A dead tree doesn't have to define the energy of your home. Simple Feng Shui remedies. Remove the tree respectfully. Don't just cut it down and forget it. Clear the soil, sweep away the decay, and allow the ground to breathe again. Plant something new. Replace it with a healthy tree, a thriving shrub, or a lush green plant to symbolize renewal. This act alone communicates that the past is released and new life is welcomed. Add fresh flowers. Place a pot of bright blooming flowers at the entrance. Their color and vitality draw positive yang energy, lift the spirit, and transform the first impression of your home. The principle is simple. Your home should be a place where life thrives, not where it quietly dies. Just as a blooming tree symbolizes vitality and prosperity, a dead tree warns of decline and blocked fortune. So if you find yourself with a lifeless tree at your entrance, see it as a gentle warning. Remove it, refresh the soil, and replace it with something alive. In doing so, you're not only reviving the land, you're also affirming that your home and your life are places meant for growth, joy, and abundance. Sign Near 4. A house with a sudden death in its past. Sometimes you step into a home and everything looks perfect. The walls are freshly painted, the furniture is modern, and the layout feels open. Yet there's an uneasiness in the air. Something pressing on your chest at night, something that makes you glance over your shoulder, even when you're alone. In Feng Shui, this often points to one of the most serious issues: a home where someone has died suddenly or tragically. Whether it was an accident, an illness, or even suicide, those final moments of pain leave behind more than memories. They leave a residue of heavy yin energy. Unlike the natural cycle of life and death, sudden or traumatic passing creates unsettled energy, sometimes called resentful qi. It doesn't fade on its own. Instead, it lingers in the walls, the corners, and the foundation, quietly shaping the energy of the space. Families who move into such homes often notice troubling effects. Sleep becomes restless, haunted by strange dreams. Arguments flare more easily. A subtle unease seeps into daily life with no clear explanation. Children may grow anxious, pets may behave oddly, and progress in work or finances seems to stall. Even the most positive person can begin to feel weighed down by a sadness they can't name. From a psychological perspective, this is easy to understand. Humans are deeply sensitive to the spaces they inhabit. Simply knowing or even suspecting that a tragic death occurred where you live can trigger anxiety and stress. A house meant to be a sanctuary instead becomes linked with grief and discomfort. Research in environmental psychology shows that a traumatic history can affect new occupants even if they don't consciously think about it. It isn't superstition, it's the mind responding to the story the place carries. So what can you do if your home has such a past? Moving may not be possible, but Feng Shui offers ways to clear and rebalance the energy. Practical remedies, cleansing rituals, burn sandalwood, agarwood, or sage to purify the air. Light natural candles to add warmth. Many families also use prayers, chants, or affirmations to lift the vibration and guide unsettled energy toward peace. Invite yang energy. Place clear quartz crystals or a brass gourd hulu in key areas. Quartz amplifies clarity and light, while the hulu symbolizes health and longevity, both balancing heavy yin energy. Open the home to light and sound. Keep windows open when possible. Play uplifting music and encourage laughter. Yin thrives in silence and darkness. It weakens when joy and brightness are present. The key isn't to erase the past, but to honor and transform it. By cleansing and intentionally filling the home with light and positivity, you change the story the house tells. Sign number 5, a house built over an old well or burial. Some homes carry problems not above the ground but beneath it. On the surface, everything looks fine: solid walls, polished floors, a normal layout. But hidden under the foundation may be something forgotten: an old well, an unmarked grave, or objects buried long ago. In Feng Shui, this is known as yin-jai, a yin dwelling. Instead of allowing energy to flow smoothly, the ground holds it back. Qi becomes trapped, swirling and stagnant, and eventually seeps upward into the home. Over time, this heavy yin energy affects the health, mood, and relationships of the people living there. Families who unknowingly build over a covered well often describe the same experiences: constant fatigue, tension in relationships, restless children, and shallow sleep. Despite efforts to brighten or renovate, a sense of imbalance lingers. In Feng Shui, the explanation is simple. The unresolved energy beneath the home rises to disturb the life above it. From a psychological perspective, the impact is just as real. Even if residents aren't aware of what lies below, the subconscious can sense instability. When the ground beneath us feels unsettled, so does our inner sense of safety. That hidden anxiety can manifest as stress, irritability, or a constant feeling that something isn't right. If you discover your home is built over an old well or burial site, moving may not be possible, but there are ways to rebalance and protect your household. Practical remedies. Seek guidance. Invite a Feng Shui master or spiritual guide to properly honor and release the energy beneath the home. Use saltwater jars. Place small bowls of salt water in the four corners of the house. Salt absorbs heavy yin, while water helps ground it. Refresh regularly to keep the space clear. Fill the home with yang energy. Bright lighting, cheerful sounds, and daily activity counteract the heaviness below. The more life you bring into the house, the weaker stagnant energy becomes. The ground beneath your home should support your family, not hold you back. By cleansing and honoring what lies below, and by filling the space with brightness and vitality, you can turn a troubled foundation into one that truly nourishes health, peace, and prosperity. Sign number 6, a long vertical crack in the main wall. Every house has its backbone. In Feng Shui, the main wall of a home is like its spine, providing strength, balance, and support for everything inside. When that wall develops a long vertical crack running from ceiling to floor, it's more than a cosmetic flaw. It's a sign of deep instability, both physically and energetically. From a Feng Shui perspective, a crack in the main wall represents broken energy flow. Just as a fractured spine weakens the body, a damaged wall weakens the house. Families living in such spaces often report recurring difficulties, financial strain, health issues, or emotional distance that seem to appear without explanation. The wall's wound reflects itself in the lives of those within. Psychologically, the effect is equally powerful. Even if engineers say the structure is safe, the sight of a long crack plants seeds of unease. Subconsciously, residents register it as danger. This home isn't sound. That quiet stress builds over time, leaving people anxious, restless, or on edge. Some try to hide the flaw with paint, wallpaper, or artwork, but the subconscious still knows, and so does the home's energy. A hidden wound remains a wound until it is healed. Fortunately, this issue can be corrected. The key is to address it openly and restore strength to the spine of the house. Practical remedies. Repair thoroughly. Don't just cover the crack. Have it properly fixed to ensure the structure is safe and balanced. Cleanse afterward. Once repairs are complete, burn incense such as sandalwood, agarwood, or sage to refresh the atmosphere and release lingering heaviness. Reinforce stability. Keep the area well lit, uncluttered, and clean. Light symbolizes renewal and helps anchor the feeling of security. Your home is meant to protect and uplift you, not cause constant worry. A long crack in the main wall is a message that the backbone of the house needs care. By repairing it and refreshing the energy, you restore not just the structure, but also the sense of stability and harmony for everyone who lives inside. Sign number 7, a house at a T-junction. At first glance, a house located at the end of a road where another street points directly at its front door may look convenient, easy to spot, easy to access. But in Feng Shui, this is considered one of the most harmful locations. Why? Because energy behaves like traffic. When a road ends at your front door, Qi doesn't drift in gently. Instead, it rushes straight toward the house with force, like a current colliding against a wall. Instead of nourishing the space, the energy crashes in, creating turbulence and instability. Families living in such homes often describe a pattern of restless nights, tension in relationships, sudden financial losses, or even frequent accidents. It feels as though life itself is constantly pushing against them, no matter how hard they try to move forward. From a psychological perspective, the stress makes sense. Imagine looking out your front window every day, seeing headlights or the line of a road pointing directly at you. Even subconsciously, it creates pressure, as if danger is always approaching. That low-level anxiety builds over time, affecting both emotional stability and overall well-being. The good news is, while you can't move the road, you can soften its impact with Feng Shui remedies designed to redirect energy. Practical remedies. Create a barrier. Plant tall greenery, install a decorative fence, or add a screen to block and slow the incoming ki before it hits the home. Use a metal wind chime. Its sound helps disperse harsh energy, transforming it into a softer flow. Strengthen your front entrance. A sturdy door, warm lighting, or a bright rug can serve as protective symbols, welcoming positive ki and grounding the home's energy. Your front door is the mouth of the house, the place where energy enters. A home at a T-junction is constantly bombarded, but with intention and small adjustments, you can redirect that force, protect your household, and invite a steadier, gentler flow of opportunities and well-being. Sign number 8, a bed under a ceiling beam. Imagine lying in bed at night and looking up to see a heavy wooden beam running across the ceiling directly above you. Most people shrug it off as a design feature, but in Feng Shui, this setup is considered one of the most harmful arrangements for a bedroom. Why? Because a beam directly above the bed symbolizes pressure and division. Energy that should flow smoothly through the room is split and forced downward. Over time, that invisible weight presses on the body, creating stress, restlessness, and even conflict between partners. It's like sleeping under a burden that never lifts. Families who live with this arrangement often notice familiar patterns: poor sleep, tension in relationships, unexplained fatigue, or chest tightness. Couples may feel emotionally distant, and conversations that once felt lighthearted can become strained. From a psychological perspective, the explanation is clear. The subconscious mind perceives the beam as a threat, something heavy poised above while you're most vulnerable. Even if you don't consciously think about it, that sense of pressure affects relaxation and can lead to anxiety, insomnia, and long-term stress. The good news is that this is a Feng Shui issue you can fix without rebuilding your home. With the right adjustments, you can soften the energy and restore balance in your bedroom. Practical remedies. Use fabric or design elements to soften the beam. Hang a light canopy or flowing fabric to conceal it, creating a sense of openness. Add upward lighting. Soft lights that rise toward the ceiling help redirect energy, lifting heaviness away from the bed. Bring in plants or decor that draws the eye upward. Items that symbolize growth and lightness counteract the downward force of the beam. Your bedroom should be the most restful and nurturing space in your home. It's where your body restores itself and your relationships find harmony. If a beam looms overhead, don't ignore it. By softening its impact, you release the weight above you, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, so your sleep can once again bring peace, health, and connection. Sign number 9, front and back doors. Aligned at first glance, a house with the front door directly aligned with the back door may seem convenient. Open the doors, and fresh air flows right through. But in Feng Shui, this design is one of the most problematic. Why? Because qi, or life energy, behaves like water. When the front and back doors are aligned, energy enters and rushes straight out without stopping. Instead of circulating and nourishing the home, blessings pass through too quickly to benefit the family. It's like pouring water into a pipe. Nothing stays, nothing gathers. Families living in such homes often describe restlessness, difficulty saving money, or projects that begin with excitement but never reach completion. Finances come and go quickly, and relationships may feel unsettled, as if nothing is able to stay put. From a psychological perspective, the effect also makes sense. A home where energy flows too directly feels exposed and unstable. Without a sense of containment, people inside may feel unsupported, leading to distraction or unease. Fortunately, this issue is easy to remedy. Practical Feng Shui remedies. Create a pause. Place a plant, small table, or decorative screen between the two doors to slow the flow of energy. Use rugs or artwork. A well-placed rug or a piece of art can symbolically redirect qi, encouraging it to linger. Strengthen the center of the home. Keep the middle space bright and welcoming so energy gathers there before dispersing. Your home should hold and nourish energy, not let it slip away. By softening the path between front and back doors, you invite stability, prosperity, and peace to stay with you. As we've seen, certain signs in a home should never be ignored. A house near a cemetery or abandoned temple, one without natural light, a lifeless tree standing at the entrance, or cracks in the main wall. These are not just structural or cosmetic issues. They are warnings that energy is out of balance. And when the energy of a home is broken, it can slowly affect health, relationships, finances, and peace of mind. Remember, a house is not only a shelter, it is a living environment that constantly shapes your spirit. It holds the energy that nourishes your health, supports your happiness, and anchors your success. Choosing wisely or learning to balance the space you already have means choosing a brighter, more prosperous life for yourself and your family. If you've ever experienced similar situations, I'd love to hear your story. Share your experience in the comments below. It may help someone else. And don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe so that more people can benefit from the wisdom of Feng Shui.